Hi,
Morning.
hi, Victory. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, good, good. Just had
Good,
a
good.
nice lunch.
Um, nice.
Okay.
Oh, it's lunch
Okay.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's my time. Hi, Herman.
Okay. Yes. Hello, sir.
Hello, Herman. Can you hear? Hello, Herman. Can you hear us? Hello.
Yes, I can hear.
All
Oh,
right, all right. Good, great, great.
oh,
All right. Okay. All right. So, how have you been?
Good.
Okay. This is. All right. Hope you had a good sleep. All right. So yeah, it's right now in Taiwan. I mean, it's the alert level has upped a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
oh.
Yeah. So let's get started. All right.
Okay.
So I guess Victoria, you can update us with what
Uh,
is current progress. All right.
okay. Let me just share
Okay.
my screen quickly. Um, Share screen. Sorry, where are you? Screen one. Yes. All right. Um, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
So first things first, I think on GitHub, the code updates like hours later. It doesn't update immediately. I think it might be because I'm using their old authentication method. I'm gonna look into that as to why it's slowly uploading. But it uploads like an hour or two later after I push the code to GitHub. But anyways, so from yesterday, I think the major thing was to try to integrate the spatial part of um the spatial element of the publish subscribe architecture. And if you notice here, I added two nodes. Or maybe should I start from the connector? This has not been fixed yet, but I plan to fix that today. The challenge with this is the connector function was actually created only at the receiver layer and not at the sender layer. So this sort of has to basically switch around. But at the same time now, it means I might have to change some things. But I will fix that right next after this.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, you don't have to. I mean, it's not that emergent. You know, emergent. It's not an emergency. You can
All right.
fix that later. It's just the semantics. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it works, that's actually fine for now.
Okay. Uh, it's politically correct, I guess. Politically incorrect. Anyways, so the idea was to add node 5, node 6. Initially I thought maybe I should create a new function to handle that, but I was like, why not just change it here? So the idea now, the thing that changes here, so instead of channel, because this is in our big picture code, it's the channel that changes. Let me just say channel all area so that it's makes sense across all layers. Channel or area, yes. Just I might have to change everything, but it's basically all of. Okay, let me fix that later. Sorry, it's gonna be a lot of refactoring. But the idea was to sort of just this is the only thing that changes. So if it's a channel AB, the only thing that changes there is the area now. Instead of saying channel, it's area. But I'm still not sure if area needs to have both area and channel. I do remember we talked about that yesterday, but in the initial design of the code, it was just it was either it was channel or it was area, but it was not channel. I mean, sorry, area and channel. And we can talk about that later. But the major thing that sort of changed was that. Also, I added the radius section here, but that will be discussed later. And the idea was, in the receiver code, I want to, I just added new functionality for spatial sub and spatial pub. And at the moment, I'm still using the same signal dictionary and same node dictionary. I'm not necessarily changing anything. I'm not adding new, what do you call it? So the matcher is basically checking for if it's a pub request or a special sub request or a special pub request. And basically it's getting the results that, okay, this is a special subscriber. I'm subscribing to this area code, or subscribing to this area, specific area. And if the match exists, so basically if there's a match, if area X is the same, right? Or if area X matches with the publisher or message, then basically print this is the special message. So at the moment, I think I still want to play around with. Sorry, now what? Okay. Sorry, I did not see that one coming. I'll flip.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, just I guess give the current overall picture
Yeah,
and,
okay.
and what
No,
you
that's
have
fine.
modified.
Yeah, but that's what the reason why I added that was basically because I mean at some point in the future, which is here, and I'll just show you a picture, right? I was trying to sort of picture this. I don't know if you can see this properly. So if you look at this, you have like this matcher, and then you have these nodes in the area, right? You have matcher X, matcher Y. And the idea is, if this node is in this area, or it overlaps, if the matcher radius overlaps the node radius, then basically there's a match. And the same thing with matcher X. And now this is now the big question, or should I say the big
Okay. All right.
as to what happens, if this node overlaps two matches, for example.
All right.
And that's so this is,
I guess
sorry.
just a quick question to ask. So the matcher areas, do they completely fill the whole space, or okay,
Sorry?
or do they have their like jurisdictions like in what you have currently drawn? I mean, what do you think?
The way I
In
pictured
other words, do the matchers fully divide the entire area to be managed?
I
I
mean,
guess that's a question to you. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, from what I pictured, and please correct me if I'm wrong, right? Sorry. The idea was, okay, this rectangular space, for example, this is to represent the overall area or the overall, so say a factory, for example. And in this factory, you have nodes scattered all around, right? But in all this, the way the nodes are scattered, there is usually like a manager of some sort, or in this case, our super peer that manages its nodes around it. So in this case, for example, if you notice the matcher has a bigger circle, and the idea is the matcher has a much bigger coverage and a much stronger computing power, and it can manage nodes around it.
Okay,
Right.
I see. So you're picturing the matcher still has sort of a radius, right?
Yes.
All right. I think that's the first feedback is matchers. I think in principle they should fully partition the entire space.
Okay.
Okay. Because you have to sort of realize that what matchers are doing is that they should be able to handle any POP/SOP request collectively.
Yeah.
Okay, collectively. So although it's possible that the matchers they also communicate, let's say using Wi-Fi or some wireless network, right?
Mm.
So that they might have some sensor area limitation, but I think that's a more complicated problem. Okay, and we can try to put that later, but rather we should try to solve a case where the matchers are fully capable to manage the entire area, you see,
Yeah.
and have everything fully divided between them.
Okay.
So
So
that is kind of my view. What Herman, any feedback on that?
Yeah, so if I imagine your whole world to be the rectangle, the blue
yes.
rectangle,
Yeah.
and you have two matchers there, then I imagine that the rectangle is divided into two areas, and the one matcher covers the one area, and the other matcher covers the other area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, and then when you decide which node is being managed by which matcher, it's very simple. It's actually the center coordinate. Okay. Whether the center coordinate falls within the matcher's area. And then I think there's also the idea that the matchers should not have overlapped responsibility, meaning that an area either belong to matcher A or matcher B.
Well, it can be. Okay.
Okay, you see.
Okay.
I think with the like I guess with the rectangle it will be easier if the matchers also managed by rectangular space.
Okay.
Okay, and it's the nodes that can maybe publish or subscribe circularly.
Okay.
The
So something like that.
reason why you want to do this is you don't want to have any ambiguity between like who is managing, who is responsible for a particular node for a
Okay.
given, when you're trying to decide which matcher is it responsible for.
Okay. So
Does that make sense?
No, it does. I'm seeing what you mean now. So just to sort of put it in perspective then, the idea is there's this big area managed by the matcher as illustrated in this rectangle.
Right.
And then there's sort of nodes, basically either in or out. So
The way I imagine it, Victory, is that the nodes will always be in some matcher's area. It will never.
okay.
So we're gonna make the assumption that there's enough matchers to cover the whole area.
Exactly.
I think for now we're not gonna handle the case where your node moves to an area where there's not a matcher.
Okay.
So imagine it's like a mobile cell phone network, and you never lose coverage. You always have coverage.
Okay. You always under the assumption. Okay, I see what you mean.
Right, and even if they have overlapping regions, okay, even if it's like a mobile network, they have overlap, let's say sensing range. You can still decide which is the responsible matcher by simply finding like what is the nearest matcher. Okay.
Okay.
You see,
Okay.
because if you ask that question, like which matcher is the nearest, it in most of the time there should be only one answer to that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You
Okay.
see?
Okay. Okay. I see what you mean. So I understand. So so in theory then, the matcher, for example, in the case where matcher knows where the next matcher is, there's a sense of overlap between matchers we are assuming then that, for example, here, let me no field. For here, there's like, so for example, when we are saying maybe there's a request that was made here, but matcher one does not have the response or the answer to the question, and it falls to the next matcher. So in theory, the matchers sort of know each other's or sort of overlap each other in the bigger picture of things.
Well, what happens is matchers should know its neighboring matchers at the minimum.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Okay.
Yes.
And it should be fully enclosed by nearby matchers.
Okay. So
it's the concept in Voronoi or in Vaughn, it's called enclosing neighbors. But even if you have other kinds of partitioning, let's say by hexagon, rectangles, squares, whatever, right? The same concept applies, right? You can still have the concept of enclosing neighboring matcher.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah. Okay, so so we are building this under the assumption that every matcher knows about the next matcher. or
Exactly,
matches
exactly,
know
yes.
about one another. Okay, okay, that's built
Yes.
in this.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I see. And I'm guessing in a case where there's an overlap, the idea is the node wants to check the radius which it overlaps the most, right? Sorry, like,
Well,
Yeah. So
actually,
you would.
go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, you would look at the location of the node, and it will be in one of the matchers area or in the other matchers area.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Where it, yeah,
that's actually a simple calculation because if you
Yes.
assume matcher has like a center, just see like what is the closest with the matcher's center.
Okay. Okay. I see. All right. No, that's fine. That's fine. Makes complete sense. Okay. So if node finds itself in its area, in a specific area, the idea is just subscribe to that area. So just wanted to confirm then that in terms of the the channel, or should I say it doesn't need channel and area.
No,
Or
no,
should
no,
be
just one of them.
it's one or the other. Okay. That's perfect. All right. All right. No, then that's fine. Let's see if I can push this again. It's always yes. Let's see. Sorry.
We should thank the editor. Nowadays they are so powerful.
Yeah.
In the old days, it's
Yeah.
just text editor. I'm sure Herman lived through that period.
Oh,
Really?
ouch.
We only had text editor to work with.
Okay. Yeah.
In
No.
the
Yeah,
earlier days, it was just paper with holes.
Yeah.
I think I've heard
I
stories like that.
unfortunately missed that. But yeah, I think one of the first things you learned is how to exit from VI.
Right.
Nice. Nice. All right. I think that's at least that's from
Okay,
this
that's
area
pretty much the update. All right.
of the
So,
yeah.
any feedback from Herman regarding the code
Yeah, I
for
think
the update?
I mean it looks much more organized. I saw there was an update on GitHub, which is nice. I'm gonna this is a public repository, right? So anyone can
Yes,
see
it's
it.
very public. Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I will probably share this with Alida and with that final year student of mine, just so that they can work it,
Okay.
look at it at least to see what the basis is that they can work from. So that's good. Yeah, I guess with regards to the spatial, I think, yeah, it's just, yeah, in that sense, what we spoke about, that the matcher covers the whole area. So now it's just I think you just need at first a very simple way of doing the, deciding if areas overlap or not. So and then once you got that up and running, I think then we can start looking at, more complex ways of doing the matching or refactoring the code or something like that.
So just to it means for so just to and I know Shinyin has also worked with this in the past. So in theory, I would technically have to develop this region first, correct? In the code.
Well,
So
that's kind of like you have to sort of define what is the world that you operate.
the world exactly.
Yeah. Kind of you have to define what is the entire space and also
Parameters.
the coordinates.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for instance, when I did some work with spatial partitioning and Voronoi diagrams in Minecraft, I literally just randomly selected a big area like -1,000 to +1,000 and say, this is the area in which I will work. And then, all the Voronoi and all that other spatial calculations happen inside of that area. So I think if this is, at some point you'd probably want to roll this out into a worldwide system, and then I think you would start using some global, spatial, unique identifying mechanism. But the basic principles will stay the same. So it will just be a different coordinate system that you use in order to make it work. So I don't think you should worry too much about how do you define that big area. I would just pick a rectangle, a large rectangle, and then assume that
Um,
everything happens within that area.
Okay. Should I also start focusing on the GUI in terms of showing how the nodes, or it's not really necessary yet?
So you're gonna have to remind me what GUI is.
Sorry, like
Graphical
the
user
graphic.
interface.
Sorry, the
Sorry.
GUI. I think it's called GUI.
Oh, the GUI.
Yeah.
No. So in other words, so that GUI that Miguel Smith developed was basically a way of calculating the Voronoi diagram and basically illustrating it. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't think you should spend a lot of time. I don't think you should develop a GUI. Worst
Okay.
case, I mean, what I think you should do is you should develop what you have, and rather you just see if you can connect it up to what Miguel developed with that
Oh,
GUI.
nice.
With
Okay.
his, I mean, because I mean, he's already done
Yeah.
it. It's
He's already
just
done it, yeah. Makes
reusing
sense.
what he already has.
Okay, all right. So I do have some feedback. Okay, so go back to the code.
Okay.
Um, okay, I think it's good that you're separating to the spatial pop and sub. Okay, the type. My comment is on the channel part. I think that should be a different parameter name. Instead of channel, okay, just call it area.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, area is sort of that's sort of the opposite to channel, actually. You see, because you're already doing spatial sub and pop, so the parameter should be called area. And to define an area, right now you use a string, a text. Actually, area should be defined. In your case, if it's a circle, it should be defined by a center coordinate plus a radius. You see?
Okay.
If it's a rectangular area, it's usually the upper left and the bottom right coordinates. So two coordinates can define a rectangle. And for circular area, that's a center point plus a radius. You see?
Okay.
Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
payload is still fine. You know, when you're doing a publish, you can send a payload to an area. That is perfectly fine.
Okay.
But here, I would suggest instead of channel, what you want to have is simply called the area.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
It makes sense, yes.
Yeah, and then when you are doing the pop sub matching, then you can take out the area parameter and do a comparison, and I mean an overlap test. Okay,
Okay.
to see if actually it's overlapping areas,
Okay.
so that a pops up, a successful match happens.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that I guess that's my main feedback, and for tomorrow, I think the main thing is to get to a working version, okay, of being able to perform a spatial publication.
Okay.
Okay, and for
That
now,
would be awesome.
actually, I would. Hello.
No, I say that would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think for now you can ignore about multiple matchers as
Yes, yeah.
what you were asking us. Okay, just assume
Yeah.
that there's a single matcher responsible for the entire region, so to speak. Okay,
Yeah.
is that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because try to make it works for a single matcher before extending to multiple ones.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, all right. So that's the coding part. Victor, is that all right for tomorrow?
Yeah, that's fine, yes.
Okay, all right. So any updates regarding the paper part?
Actually not really. But I do have like some time set apart for today to just try to add some like what do you call it?
All right, that just the outline. All right. So
yeah.
I guess my
Populate.
question is, do you have any questions or things you'd like to clarify regarding the paper part?
So I think the questions usually come when I'm actually trying to write the papers.
Okay. And do you
but-
know what to write about, or are there things you feel you're stuck at right now?
Okay, maybe the major question is how many pages should I be looking at? Because I think that would also determine the amount of content that goes in there, and maybe also how much or should I say, should I focus on literature review? Because I understand there's not like thousands of papers, sorry, that are written in the spatial publish subscribe or decentralized space for spatial PubSub. So is there a way around that? Or should I just integrate the literature review with the content itself or the theoretical part of the paper?
So I'm looking at the doctoral symposium info here on MMSys page. They're talking about 4 pages for the
Double
doctoral
column?
symposium. Take part, 4 pages. Should include author name and affiliation. Should be an ACM style format. There's a link to that. Well organized and
So it's
structured
probably a
away.
double column, right? Double column paper.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and that's 4 pages without references. But
Okay.
they give some clear indications of what should be in the doctoral symposium paper.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for it quickly.
And I think it's, yeah. So I mean, I'll post the link here on Slack.
Okay.
Or
Or on.
So yeah, so basically, Victoria, just look up the look up the actual instruction. Okay, that should be clear about what to do. And okay, and regarding your question about literature review, I feel that it's probably good to focus on the main body of your work first.
okay.
Meaning that like what exactly we want to present. Okay, and I think the message are 2 simple message. One is spatial PubSub is an extension to channel-based PubSub.
Okay.
And the other message is, how can we decentralize spatial PubSub so that it scales? It's an
Okay.
interesting research question.
Okay.
And we have some ideas about how to do that. Okay, but that's what we're planning to investigate.
Okay.
Okay, so I think try to get those main points across.
Okay.
In diagrams, because I think that's your specialty, and in diagram and in words. I think that's probably useful first. And then, we can try to make sure that the literature is, adequate.
Okay.
I think that that is my recommendation. But I don't know, Herman, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, because in some sense, I think both Herman and I can act as your literature background check.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Okay,
we will
yeah,
sense if you are expressing adequate or inadequately regarding what's the proper background context you should know. Okay, and background mostly, I think it should be enough so that a reader can understand what you're trying to do and what
Okay.
is the current state of the art. Okay, and what is the main difference between your
Okay.
work and current existing work. That's mostly what background literature review survey should provide.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. Okay. So any other question?
For now, I think that's more or less I'm going to investigate. I got the message. So thank you. I'm going to look at the template and try. But yeah, I will get started on that and start populating some information.
Okay.
At least the basic structure in like established with
Okay,
some
good.
And I mean, what I describe here is basically what you're going to need for the research proposal, just fleshed out into a 20 or a 30-page document.
Okay.
So I
Alright.
guess this is a recommendation, which is because we have a bit about a month left. This is something I would recommend, whether you feel like it or not. Try to spend at least 20 to 30 minutes, on it, writing down ideas, thoughts, drawing pictures. Okay.
Okay.
Basically having a daily progress. And utilizing the idea of tiny habits, even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't know what to write, try to spend a minimum of 10 minutes on it. Okay.
Okay.
Just to make sure you have a little bit of progress every day in terms of your writing.
Okay.
Okay, because I would suggest this is because this is the important but not urgent stuff, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Okay.
the coding part, I think, at one way or another, Anisio may help. But the paper writing part, at least the first draft,
Me.
the main body, you have to do it. Okay. And again, feel free to try to get more experienced people or writer to help. Try to find
Mm.
such people, teammates, if possible. But
Okay.
still, I mean, the main body, you should have come up with the first rough draft.
Okay.
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 So that is still, I guess, your responsibility and work. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay.
And
All right. So tomorrow we look forward to, at least some writing and also a working
yes.
spatial pops up with
Sure,
one
Bob,
matcher.
sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
That's clear, right?
Yes. That's
Okay.
good
All
to
right.
go.
All right. So let's see tomorrow then. All right.
All right. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
So
Well,
yeah. All right. Okay. So thanks, Herman, and thanks, Peter.
okay.
All right.
Chat to you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow then. Yeah. Bye bye.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
sir.